also talk to the Global Brigades, up next on PSN News. So no light from.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hunter Holbert.
And I'm Jess Arnold. Penn State President Eric Barron announced tonight that a task force will investigate the university's Greek system. The task force will be created next week and will focus on sexual misconduct, hazing, and alcohol misuse in fraternities and sororities. The news comes after Penn State's chapter of the Kappa Delta Rho fraternity was suspended last week for allegedly running 2 Facebook pages that contained photos of naked and unconscious women, hazing, and drug sales. Prior to the announcement, students and community members were asking for stronger action and more transparency in the investigation. A silent sit-in protest was staged this morning at Old Main, calling for the immediate and temporary suspension of every KDR brother. A rally was also held on Friday in support of the victims. State College police have said that they may use the revenge porn law to prosecute some members of KDR, but it is unknown at this time if and when anyone will be charged.
The student reaction to the scandal has been one of disgust and anger. Jordan Jaglinzer headed to the hub to find out exactly what they had to say.
Penn State's own Kappa Delta Rho was suspended last Monday night after members of the fraternity posted nude photos of women in their private Facebook group. Let's get the inside story. With images of women passed out naked, Penn State students are simply disgusted.
That's disgusting.
I'm so disgusted by what happened.
That's kind of disgusting. And it's not something that you should be doing.
The images were placed on Kappa Delta Rho's private Facebook group named 2.0. The original page, Covert Business Transactions, had been deleted after one of the fraternity's victims found it.
I'm glad someone spoke up about it.
Leaking news like that about females shouldn't be tolerated.
You didn't get any kind of consent from those girls.
On top of nude women, the State College Police Department said images of hazing, strippers, and drugs were also included on the Facebook page.
Be aware of what you're posting. I think it's an individual's choice. They should figure that out themselves.
Comments underneath the photos of nude women include calling the girls sleuths, saying, "I banged her, LOL."
I can't believe it went to this extent.
Making fun of it and talking about the things they did was also disgusting. So. Yeah.
Penn State's President Eric Barron released a statement saying, "As president of Penn State, I am shocked and angered by the apparent disregard for not only the law, but also human dignity. I pledge that everything within our power will be done to hold those responsible accountable for their actions and to assist anyone who has been victimized by these shameful acts."
It's a good idea just because you don't want the same group of kids doing the same thing again, possibly to other girls or for another Facebook group or any of that.
Penn State IFC and members of Kappa Delta Rho's executive board declined to comment at this time, but students send their condolences.
I guess my heart goes out to those who were really affected, those who were hurt by it.
For PSN News, I'm Jordan Jaglinzer.
It's election season for the University Park Undergraduate Association. The Daily Collegian reported that 4 of 5 total executive pairs who registered have been approved for the election. Those running for president are Emily McDonald, who is currently the UPUA vice president, as well as Shannon Rafferty, Ryan Belts, and Hamza Fayed. Those running for vice president are Terry Ford, Gokul Sundar, Zach Longstreth, and Dylan Sundy. The first executive debate in the election is being held tonight, and the second will be March 30th. Penn State students can vote for their favorite candidates on April 1st.
On Friday, the Penn State Board of Trustees had its bi-monthly meeting in Hershey, Pennsylvania. The Daily Collegian reports that the meeting covered a lot of ground, with the most notable topics being increased room and board rates, as well as applying for a liquor license at the Bryce Jordan Center. The proposed 3.89% increase in room and board rates was hotly debated, but was ultimately approved. The application for a liquor license at the BJC was also heavily debated, especially by board members, citing alcohol abuse on campus and its correlation to sexual assault. However, the application was approved 13-7.
Penn State Law's school-to-prison pipeline panel discussion on Thursday was well received, despite the controversy surrounding one of its guests. The Daily Collegian reports that the discussion featured Bill Ayers, a retired distinguished professor of education at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Last week, a group of Dickinson School of Law students and Senator Joe Scarnati both sent letters to Penn State administration asking for the cancellation of Ayers' visit. These complaints arose due to Ayers' role in founding violent anti-war group, the Weather Underground, in the 1970s. While police were present during the discussion as a precaution, the panel faced no problems.
Penn State News reports that men's ice hockey coach Guy Gadowski has been named the Big Ten Coach of the Year. League coaches and media members made the decision last Monday to give Gadowski the title, earning him the program's first major conference award. This year was the Nittany Lions' third year of Division I play. Gadowski guided the team to their first winning season in the Division I era. The Nittany Lions were picked last in the preseason, yet exceeded expectations and remained in the Big Ten chase until the final weekend of the season. The team defeated every other team in the conference at least once.
Penn State isn't the only university with its share of protests. We'll have more from UVA coming up.
The 2016 presidential race officially kicked off today when Ted Cruz became the first candidate to declare his run. The Republican senator of Texas first tweeted his decision just after midnight and then formally made his declaration while speaking to students at Liberty University in Virginia this morning. During his speech, Cruz said he wanted to repeal the Affordable Care Act, abolish the IRS, and defend pro-life and anti-gay marriage legalization positions. Other Republicans expected to declare their candidacies in the near future are Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, Rand Paul, and Marco Rubio.
USA Today reported that the arrest of a Black University of Virginia student, Martise Johnson, started a campus protest on Wednesday. 20-year-old Johnson was seriously injured as he was taken into custody by Virginia Alcoholic Beverage Control agents outside a pub near the UVA campus. Johnson was arrested and charged with public intoxication and obstruction of justice. As a result of the arrest, Johnson had to get 10 stitches on his head. Photos and videos of the bloody arrest spread across social media with the hashtag Justice for Martise. The governor of Virginia ordered the Virginia State Police to look into Johnson's arrest.
Fox News reported that the real estate heir, Robert Durst, is charged with the 2000 murder of his friend Susan Berman. Durst was charged with one count of first-degree murder late last Monday. If convicted, he will face the death penalty. Just hours before Durst was first arrested on Sunday night, HBO aired the documentary The Jinx, The Life and Deaths of Robert Durst. In the documentary, Durst went into the bathroom with filmmaker Andrew Jarecki. Not knowing he still had his wireless microphone on, Durst muttered a statement in which he seemed to confess to the crime. Durst has been long suspected of Berman's death, along with the possible murders of 2 other people.
Web users can expect a new browser later this year. Microsoft is preparing to replace Internet Explorer with a browser to complement the promised Windows 10 operating system. Explorer had been falling behind Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome in the past few years. To keep pace, Microsoft decided to develop a more mobile-friendly browser to launch with the operating system. The browser, currently called Project Spartan, will have its own identity. The tech company has yet to announce when the new system will be available, but it has assured Internet Explorer users that it will still be compatible with the old system, at least for the first few years.
On Wednesday, militants stormed a museum in Tunisia's capital and killed 19 people while wounding 44 others. 2 gunmen were killed by the security forces in the deadliest attack on Tunisian civilians in 13 years. The militants were wearing military-style uniforms and used assault rifles to gun down tourists climbing out of buses at the National Bardo Museum. Tunisian authorities launched a manhunt for 2 or 3 accomplices in the attack. Newly elected President Beji Caid Essebsi noted he will fight against the extremists until they are exterminated. The United States, France, the United Arab Emirates, and the United States have all denounced the bloodshed and have offered support to Tunisia.
Serbia is preparing for its first trial following a human rights atrocity that occurred almost 20 years ago. 8,000 Bosnian Muslim men were massacred by Serbian forces in Srebrenica in the summer of 1995. This was the only incident during the 1990s wars in the former Yugoslavia to be declared under international law as an act of genocide. The chief prosecutor of Serbian war crimes said authorities sought to arrest 8 suspects in pre-dawn raids throughout the country on Wednesday. While they have only successfully detained 7, there are more suspects in their focus.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared victory for his party after Wednesday's elections following a bitter campaign. Netanyahu's Likud party trailed in opinion polls for weeks behind the Zionist Union Alliance. However, the Likud party defied expectations, grabbing at least 29 out of the 120 seats in Israel's parliament. All this comes 2 weeks after Netanyahu gave a speech to the U.S. Congress warning of any deal with Iran on its nuclear program, and days after he declared there would be no Palestinian state under his reign. This reversed his earlier support of the 2-state solution, putting him at odds with the Obama administration that publicly supports it.
Global Brigades. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm here with Eli Lasota and Deirdre Carlson from Penn State's Global Medical Brigades. Thanks for joining us. First, can we start out by describing a little bit about what the brigades do?
Sure. So Global Brigades is actually 7 chapters, medical being one of them. And what we do is we're the largest student-led sustainable health and development organization in the world. And we work in 4 countries, Panama, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Ghana, to work alongside community members and really grow with these sustainable development projects.
Great. And you just recently went to Nicaragua, correct? Could you talk a little bit about what you would do there?
Yeah, so I actually just recently got back from Nicaragua, but I was working with the architecture program. So we worked with a family and we actually built them a new house. There were about 25 of us working on the project at one time, and we finished it in about 3 days. It was pretty incredible.
Oh, that's great. What other initiatives do you do throughout the year?
So we have 2 very large local initiatives, is what we call them. We find that a lot of times students don't always feel that they can take the time to travel every year, so we want to provide opportunities to them as well. So we recently got a Thon family for our Thon committee, and we also do food bank farming, which with that we go out to a small-scale farm and work to plant and harvest the crops and donate the majority of the harvest to local food banks.
Great. And do you have any upcoming events that we should know about?
So we do have a regional exchange. I'll let Deirdre talk about that in a second, but we also have more brigades coming up in the May season. So we typically do brigades over winter break, spring break, and in May, and with all of our chapters being architecture, business, dental, environmental, engineering, human rights, medical, microfinance, public health, and water. So there's really something for everyone. And so if you're interested in any of those fields or even multiple of them, you can come out to even our Global Brigades meetings where we cover a lot of the work that all of the chapters do. We'll do like highlights every once in a while where we just talk about one specific chapter, or we'll talk about like sustainable development in general. So we have those coming up in May, and like I said, there's also the regional conference that Deirdre can talk about a little bit.
So with the regional exchange, what it's going to be is Global Brigades leaders from across the state of Pennsylvania. It's also open to members and Penn State students that are interested in sustainable development, kind of a holistic approach, learning about being a global citizen. So we'll have some guest speakers and different workshops, and that is Saturday, April 11th, and also part of Sunday, April 12th. And then our next meeting is actually Sunday, April 12th at 7 p.m. in 102 Thomas.
So does someone have to be a member of Global Brigades to go on the trips?
We typically encourage that. Specifically, medical is our largest chapter, so they do have some more requirements than some of the smaller chapters. But we meet every other week. That's basically the main requirement for the majority of the trips, is that you've come, you've learned about what the projects will entail, know kind of what to expect when you go into the country, so that you don't show up and be completely surprised.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned, because next we have this week's weather forecast.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, Center County student meteorologist Brian Bellis here with your Campus Weather Service forecast for today, Monday, March 23rd. Our weather headlines, what we're tracking for you. We're looking at a great Tuesday in store, mostly sunny skies. It's not going to last long, though. Unfortunately, rain's going to move in midweek. Best chance for rain comes on Thursday. We'll take a look at that in your 7-day coming right up. And we'll also see in the 7-day, we're looking at a roller coaster of temperatures over the next few days. We're going to see temperatures right around average. Then we're going to be a little bit above average for the middle of the week before cooling it back down going into the weekend. Like I said, we'll take a look at that in your 7-day coming right up. Look at our European model and our upper air patterns. You can see pretty steady for Tuesday. And then look at this, a slight ridge in the jet stream moves over us on Wednesday. We're going to see temperatures warm up near 50 on Wednesday and then closer to 60 come Thursday. But look at this behind it. Dip in the jet stream, some blue colors. Take a look at some deep blue colors over northern Minnesota. They're going to track their way east for the end of the week. Going into your Friday, we're looking at cooler temperatures to start off the weekend as well. And then going into Sunday and the start of next week, we start to rebound slowly but surely. Taking a look at our precipitation over the next few days, like I mentioned, mainly sunny skies for your Tuesday. Precipitation starts to form off to our west, and that's going to track its way east, and we're looking at scattered showers throughout later portions of Wednesday. Best chance for rain comes on Thursday. A system over the Mississippi Valley going to track its way to the east. We're looking at rain likely throughout the entire day on Thursday. We'll dry it out for the end of the week and going into the weekend, looking mainly dry, just a mix of sun and clouds for your Saturday. Temperatures over the next few days. Tuesday morning as you're waking up, low temperatures going to start off right around low 20s, 23 here in State College, 22 in Williamsport, even some teens possible across northern portions of the Commonwealth. We'll warm it up to right around 40 throughout most of the state, and then going into your Wednesday, like I mentioned, warmer temperatures are in store near 50 in State College, upper 60s in Pittsburgh, and then even warmer going into Thursday. Your forecast for today, though, for tomorrow, that is, your Tuesday, mostly sunny, 43 degrees, winds out of the south, 5 to 10. Your week ahead, mapping it out for you, 43 tomorrow for your Tuesday, then some scattered showers move into the forecast Wednesday, 51, near 60 on Thursday with showers likely. Then we dry it out for the end of the work week, mostly cloudy and 43 on Friday, and then back into the mid-40s for the end of the weekend. That's all from the Campus Weather Service. Stay tuned. We have a look at your full weekend sports coming up on PSN News.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sophia Weston with this week's Sports Wrap-Up. Penn State Wrestling's Matt Brown claimed the national championship at the NCAA Finals Saturday in St. Louis. Brown won 5-4 against Pittsburgh's Tyler Wilpes after a delay with each side challenging a bout deciding call. This is the senior's first NCAA title, and he was close to winning a title as a sophomore. His win marks the 5th straight year Penn State has crowned a national champion. Brown is a 3-time All-American, and he ends his Penn State career with a record 118-16 record. Men's hockey lost to Ohio State 3-1 in the Big Ten quarterfinals in Detroit on Thursday. Ohio led after the first period 2-0. It was in the second period when senior Max Gardner scored the Lions' single goal. No team had the upper hand in the number of shots. Ohio had 29 and Penn State had 32. But on a happier note, the Lions' Casey Bailey was signed by the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday. The junior is the first Stater to sign an NHL contract. Bailey will forgo his senior season in Hockey Valley for the 2-year entry deal. Number 10 Nittany Lions defeated the number 11 Ohio State Buckeyes on Saturday in 5 sets, which included a 30-kill performance from the Nittany Lion Aaron Russell. The senior added a match-high 14 digs for a double-double and earned Mike Anderson Penn State Player of the Match honors. Freshman Jalen Penrose was close behind with a career high of 19 kills. Nittany Lions have won their first 6 consecutive matches, including their last 3 straight against ranked opponent. They'll host Princeton on Friday at 7 p.m. The Penn State baseball team won their second game against Indiana University 13-7 in Medlar Field on Sunday. Indiana won the first in a 5-4 defeat, but the Lions came back with a doubleheader in the second game. The team rallied against Indiana as they led 7-0. Rookie Sal Biazzi earned Big Ten Baseball Co-Freshman of the Week honors. He struck out 9 consecutive batters in the games against Kennesaw College and Indiana. The Lions will host Villanova on Wednesday. Despite going into extra innings, the Penn State women's softball team was unable to pull out a win against Northwestern Wildcats on Sunday. Northwestern was first on the board against Penn Staters Marlena Laubach in the first, second, and third innings to make it 4-1. Macy Jones then relieved Laubach, who slowed the Wildcats' bats up, allowing just 5 hits. Down 4-2 during the last at-bat, the Nittany Lions used a triple, single, and double to tie up the game and send the game into extra frames. A Northwestern home run in the top of the 8th sealed the win for the Wildcats. Penn State fell 13-15 and continues its 6-game homestand with double headers versus Robert Morris this Wednesday. And that's all for this week's sports. PSN News will be right back after this.
Dancers are massaging their sore feet and ankles today after the Keystone dance sport competition was held in the White Building on Saturday. PSN's Sophia Weston has more on the big event.
Princess-like gowns, expensive shoes, and fringe filled White Building for Penn State's ballroom competition that hosted 150 competitors from 15 schools. High-profile professional dancers came to judge the students as they did their best cross steps and American spins. Club President Claire Greensmith said the club has been planning the competition since September. She says Keystone provides distinctive opportunities with its size and program.
I think for one thing, the size. Keystone is a relatively smaller competition than other ones that competitors might go to, so that provides them a new opportunity to dance more often. And I also think that Keystone this year we have the showcase events, so couples can showcase certain dances, which is something that's unique to Keystone.
Keystone lasts a whole day, and dancers compete in international and American styles. But the club's ballroom manager, Andrew Simonson, says it's not all about placing first.
You want to see where you are with respect to other dancers in the area, but you also want to, have fun. This is actually, kind of the point of ballroom dancing. You get to actually show people what you're capable of, and I think that's something people really enjoy.
After each event with the different styles and levels, ranging from newcomer to gold, judges give out award ribbons to the competitors.
The Ballroom Dance Club's 11th Keystone competition had a successful turnout amid dress swivels and hip movements. They'll probably start planning the competition for next year as soon as it's over. Reporting for PSN News, I'm Sophia Weston.
And that does it for us here at PSN News tonight for March 23rd, 2015. Thanks for joining us, and make sure to check us out on Twitter at PSN News.
And make sure to watch us every Monday live at 7. Have a good night, and thanks for watching.